What's going on, my broskies? My name is Toadskin. I'm back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today I'm here finally to bring you guys the how to beat full comprehension guide on how to beat Red Leg Zeff, which is the brand new Fortnite dungeon headed over to One Piece Treasure Cruise. So this is actually a pretty cool Fortnite, you know, introducing a few new characters, but first and foremost, like, this Fortnite has some pretty nice skill books. I mean, on the banner you can see the three main ones that everyone's going to be going for, being Thatch, Kuriel, and Killer. Now, for Killer in particular, you know, Killer was in the Absalom Fortnite, and his books were pretty hard to get a hold of. So hopefully within this Fortnite, you'll be able to pick up those Killer books, because everyone knows that Absalom is one of the most annoying Fortnites. So having them available in this dungeon as well makes it a little bit easier to get a hold of. So anyways, guys, if you guys do go on to enjoy today's video, make sure to smack the like button down below, as it's always greatly appreciated. But without further ado, guys, let's get straight into today's video. So the new unit for this Fortnite dungeon is Red Leg Zeff of the Cook Pirates, and he is a 4-star unit with 2 socket spots, and he is a Dex Fighter tough unit. Now, as I like to say in my other videos, the tough unit hasn't been introduced yet, but it's just for future reference for people who watch this video in the future, when the tough type is actually introduced. Now, at max level, at level 99, he has 2,000 health, 1,088 attack, and 258 recovery, and his captain effect will boost the attack of fighters by 2.5 if your HP is above half at the start of the turn. Something a little bit interesting, comparing this to the story mode Zeff that you can get at the Baratier, is that the story mode one from the Baratier gives a straight 2.5 times attack to all of your fighters. A little bit different to this one, where you have to be above 50% of health, which is a little bit annoying, but he actually has a pretty good captain effect. If you guys don't have that story mode Zeff, this guy's actually really nice to get a hold of. And his special ability, which starts at 23 turns and maxes at 13, will deal 20 times his attack and dex damage to a single enemy, and then change all adjacent slots to recovery. Now, there are different orb manipulators that you can input with a team with Zeff, so there are actually a lot of different ways to utilize this Zeff, you know, just getting all those recovery orbs. So there's so many different teams that could be actually worked in with. Overall, he's not the worst Fortnite unit, but he's definitely not the best Fortnite unit. He's actually not a bad unit to get a hold of, so I definitely recommend trying to max him out, because there are teams that can utilize his special for really good ways, you know, really good orb manipulators, as I said previously. Moving on to one of the 2 hidden bosses that are found within this dungeon is the Thug Patty. So Thug Patty here is a 3-star unit and is a strength shooter type unit with a single socket spot, and he actually maxes at level 50 with some pretty average stats overall, and he does not have a captain effect, and his special ability, which starts at 14 turns and maxes at 7, will basically allow you for 1 turn boost the amount of healed by recovery orbs by 1.5, then 2 times, then 2.5 times from the 3rd crew member onwards. So this is actually a really weird kind of special, where the more recovery orbs that you have on your team, the more you're actually going to recover overall. So if you get the first recovery orb, you're going to get 1.5 times whatever you would actually get from recovery orbs. Then it's 2 times what you'd ever get, 2.5 times. So you have to do it in sequential order of getting those recovery orbs. Overall, it's not a very useful special. Plus the fact that he's a strength shooter, so he doesn't actually fit into many teams very well, and his stats aren't the best. So overall, a pretty bad Fortnite hidden boss to try and get. Now, the counterpart hidden boss for this dungeon is the Thug Kane. Now, he's a 3-star unit, a quick slasher type unit with a single socket spot, very average stats at max level at level 50, very same as the Thug Patty, and he does not have a captain effect, and his special ability will change the captain's orb into recovery and then randomize all other orbs on the team. So again, this is one of those type of specials which isn't really that useful. Starts at 15 turns, maxes at 8 turns, and he doesn't fit into too many teams because he's so weak. You know, there's so many better units. So overall, this Fortnite has pretty bad hidden bosses, but as I said, the actual unit in Red Leg Zeff is actually pretty decent, and I would recommend trying to get a hold of him, especially if you don't have the story mode Zeff. But for these hidden bosses in Kane and Patty, they are very bad, and probably not ever going to try and max these guys. These guys aren't really the best. But anyways, now let's move on to the actual breakdown of the dungeon for this new Fortnite. So starting things off at the quest condition, which is actually very similar to the last one that we just had, where you cannot bring 2 of the same unit, including friend captain. So This is the same as the Young Shanks and Buggy Fortnite, which means you will have to change out what type of captains you're going to bring and what type of units you're going to actually have on your team. So anyways, at this first stage here, you'll actually come across the boss being Zeff, and he's definitely the weaker version of the final stage, but at this stage here, he has 450,000 health and attack power of 5,990, but he does have a 3-turn attack interval, which means that he gets 3 turns to deal 450,000 damage, which overall can be pretty simple to do. And he actually doesn't do anything, he just does his regular attack once his cooldown hits 0, so nothing really to worry about in this stage, and you guys should be able to take down this Zeff within the first 3 turns. 450,000 health, as I said, very, very simple to take down. Now, throughout all of this dungeon between stages 2 and stages 5, or stages 6, you're just going to be coming across, regular pirates, turtles, evolvers, and all that kind of stuff. But the hidden stage is actually going to have both Patty and Carne available to drop. So you do have a chance to either get one or the other, so it will be a little bit harder to actually get a hold of one that you're after, but, there are probably equal chances of them dropping. So anyways, for these guys here, Thug Patty and Thug Carne, the Patty side, the red unit, has approximately 180,000 health and attack power of 5,208, which is actually quite a lot. But it makes up for that by having a really high cooldown of 3 turns, and when he does get a chance to attack, he blocks your recovery for 5 turns, where he actually puts that debuff on your whole team, where if you get a recovery orb, it will actually basically mean that you're going to be picking up like 1 or 2 health. It's not really that much at all. And then the Thug Carne, which is the blue unit, he has approximately 180,000 health as well, with an attack power of 1470, so he has a much lower attack power than the Patty side. However, he does have a 1-turn attack interval, and when he does get to attack, he will poison you, and the poison will actually do 200 damage per unit, meaning you're going to be taking 1,200 damage per turn, which actually will stack up after a long time. So that is why there are a couple of teams that can, basically negate this because they have so much health, and we'll go into that later on down the track. But yeah, this is the hidden stage for this brand new Fortnite with Thug Patty and Thug Carne. Once you reach the final stage, which is stage 7 of the dungeon, you'll come across the final boss being Red Leg Zeff. Now, a little bit different from previous Fortnites is that he actually has 1 million health, which is crazy. That's the exact same as the raid boss Mihawk at 40 stamina. 1 million health, that's actually quite a lot of health for a Fortnite unit. And his attack power is 6,288 with a 2-turn attack interval. Now, his preemptive attack is actually pretty powerful as well, where it changes all of your orbs to either Dex or Recovery, and then he'll also cut your HP by 66%, cutting it down to 1/3 of your current HP. So overall, that preemptive attack is very, very powerful, and, just basically switching up your orbs so you can't even farm for strength orbs before reaching this final room, meaning that it's going to be very, very hard to take him down, in basically like 1 or 2 turns. Otherwise, he will actually do a lot of damage to you, as we'll go through right now. When his health is below 50%, he lowers his cooldown to 1 and then buffs his attack, meaning that he does 7,500 damage to you whenever he goes to attack. That is absolutely crazy. And then once he goes below 20% and he gets a chance to attack, he does 12k damage, 12,133 damage. That is absolutely nuts. So you definitely want to try and get a unit on your team that can basically manipulate your orbs around and basically giving yourself some strength orbs. And there are a couple of units that can do that, and we'll go through that once we reach, all of the different team breakdowns. But yeah, overall, this is actually a pretty difficult Fortnite if you don't have the right units, because, especially when you get him below 50%, he goes on a 1-turn attack cooldown and then does 7,000 damage every turn, or 7.5k every turn. It's a lot of damage to try and withstand, so definitely a very, very difficult Fortnite if you do not have the correct units. So let's go through the actual skill books that you can find within this brand new Fortnite dungeon. Number 1 being the Twin Blade Thatch, which greatly increases chances of getting quick slots for 3 turns. This is a very, very powerful special, and there's lots of different applications for it. For upcoming raid bosses as well, not only that, you can use it against basically any dungeon that utilizes a lot of powerful strength units. Having Thatch on your team to give yourself a lot of chances to get blue orbs on your team is very good. Plus, you partner this with the fact that there are now sockets that give you matching orbs as well. So there are lots of ways to basically, abuse this special and to get a lot of quick orbs on your team. Very, very, very powerful special to try and max out. Next is Killer. So Killer will deal massive damage to one foe, and that massive damage, I think, is 100 times his actual attack. And I think at max he has around about 1400, so you times that by 100, and it's crazy the amount of damage that Killer can actually do to an opposing unit. And it also will reduce your HP to 1. Now, you might be thinking, oh, you know, reducing your HP to 1, that might be really bad. However, there is a brand new legend that will be coming later on down the track. I won't say who, but if you guys that have played Japan or you guys are knowledgeable about the game, you guys will have figured out which unit I'm talking about. And he's going to be very, very good once that unit does come out, but we don't know when that will be. Moving on, we have Courier. Now, Courier will randomly change the middle slots to Strength or Dex, and the lower slots to either Psi or Int, and then you can swap orbs once. This is actually a pretty nice unit to put on a Strongworld Ace team until we get another unit like Heracles, who can go ahead and, you know, basically just switch up your orbs and, you know, basically give you matching orbs for Strongworld Ace teams. But Curiel's not a bad unit. He has some decent attack. He's an int shooter, and he's overall a pretty decent unit, and I think he's pretty good, so definitely try and max him out if you guys have him. And the last unit is Kaya, who will heal 5 times her recovery at the end of each turn for 4 turns. And, you know, there's a couple of other skill books, all of the hidden bosses in Paddy Kane, and the brand new Zeff, the boss Zeff of the Fighting Cook Pirates. You can actually find those skill books in there as well. So overall, it's got some pretty nice skill books, especially Thatch, Curiel, and Killer. Those guys are very, very good to try and max out. But now let's go over the team breakdowns that you should use in order to beat this Fortnite dungeon. So going to now the recommended teams to beat this actual Fortnite dungeon. Now, first off, it is actually the exact same condition as the previous Fortnite, being with the Young Shanks and Young Buggy Fortnite, where you cannot bring 2 of the same units. That includes friend captains as well. Now, there are lots of different teams you could actually use, and here are the recommended captains that I would recommend to bring. So, Monster Chopper Blackbeard is very, very good, very strong team. This is really, really good, partner with some of the sub-units that we'll go over in a second. You've also got Mihawk and Dofi. Any of the Mihawks is good, either the Dex or the Int one is very, very good with Doflamingo. Lots and lots and lots of health, especially partnered with the Coffin Ship, plus when you reach Zeff, he gives you Dex orbs as well, which is very, very strong, because you can actually use Doflamingo's special to then swap them to your units of your liking, and then go pretty much ham at that stage, and then, you know, basically just try and do as much damage as you can in a single turn. And you've got Kuma and Blackbeard. Now, this is a very, very good team because you get so much health. You get so much health. You get 2 times health from Kuma, and then it's like 2.5 times health or something like that from Blackbeard. So overall, this is very, very powerful. Gear 3 Blackbeard also can work with a very powerful strength team. Also, you can use the Striker team, which I suggested in the last video, which was with Kid and Aokiji. And you can also use Gear 3 and Rayleigh, because that's always really, really good to use. Now, any of these partnership of friend captains and your captains will actually work really well. But let's go through these 3 sub-units that I've listed here. First off is Golden Pounder Usopp. He allows you to get a little bit more stall on Zeff, because obviously you don't want him to hit you. So, once you get him below 50% and he goes on a 1-turn cooldown, you go use Golden Pounder Usopp and then basically go ham, and you should be able to kill him from there. And then also Fire Pearl. So if you guys don't know what Fire Pearl does, he actually then changes all of your recovery orbs on your team to strength orbs, which is really good, because when you reach the final room, Zeff will give you recovery or dex orbs, and then you have the Baroque Works billionaire or millionaire units, which is the red version of the billionaire Baroque Works units, and he will change any dex orb on your team to strength. So you partner this and Fire Pearl, and then you can bring like an orb booster, like perhaps Doflamingo, or you could bring Kobe or Kaku, and it basically enables you to pretty much kill Zeff in a single turn. It's very, very powerful, and you'd partner this with maybe a Monster Chopper and Blackbeard team. This would be the best team to work it on, because you get the most damage multiplier from any of these teams of strength units, and then you basically have a full team of strength orbs, and you basically, and I keep saying basically, but you pretty much can kill Zeff in a single turn. Very, very powerful team, and that is probably the team that I would suggest if you guys have both Fire Pearl and you get your hands on a Baroque Works billionaire unit, the strength version, of course. So this is going to conclude yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video, and if you guys have enjoyed it, make sure to smack that like button down below. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, then make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.